I'm headed out to my final gig of 2025. Some of the guys are flying in, some of the guys are driving from Oslo, but I'm already in the area celebrating Christmas with the family, so I only have a 2-hour drive to this gig. I'll try to set up a camera on the gig so I can show you maybe a saxophone solo or two and some of the horn section lines. But let's get going on this drive, and I'll see you again in my hotel room in a little bit. Going into 2026, I wanted to start you off with just some inspiration, what to practice, what goals to set for yourself, and just to help you get a good start to practicing in the new year. So for this video, I wanted to break down 5 things I think you should be practicing in the coming year if you want to see the most amount of progress on your saxophone journey. The first thing I think you should be practicing in 2026 is long tones and also overtones. If you've been following my channel or pretty much any YouTube saxophone player channel, you know that we're preaching this, and it's for a very good reason. Long tones and overtones is going to have a tremendous impact on your sound, and your sound is the #1 thing people hear when you play. Working on long tones help you get your breath, your airstream, and your embouchure, everything ready for playing the saxophone. Doing just a little bit of this every day before you start practicing all your other stuff is going to make a huge impact to your sound over time. And the same thing with the overtones. Every note you play on the saxophone needs to be voiced properly before the airstream even hits the saxophone. And the way we learn to do this is to work on overtones. So like with the long tones, a little bit every day actually goes a long way. So just start off every single practice routine in the next year with a little bit of long tones and a little bit of overtones. Over on my Patreon, I have a 12-week course in playing overtones, and I think this could be a great way for you to start off the new year by really learning overtones from the very, very basics into some really advanced overtone exercises. I'll leave a link to that up here if you want to go check that out. The next thing I think you should be working on is playing your scales. Not just up and down in 1 octave, but full range on the horn. And not just the major scale, but also harmonic minor and melodic minor. And if you can already play all these scales in every key on your saxophone, full range on the horn, you should play them in thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, and sevenths. This is basically the curriculum I went through for the Woodwind finals at Berklee College of Music, and I'm just really happy that they put me through this technical baseline study. Now I think we can all agree that long tones and scales are some pretty boring things to practice, so let's get into some more interesting stuff. And the first thing I want to talk about is vocabulary. Set a goal for 2026 that you're going to learn at least a little bit of new vocabulary every week, either by transcribing something, a full solo, or just a little lick that you take through all 12 keys. Whenever I hear a lick that I really dig, I just make a little note on my phone of what song it is and the time, and then when I go back to my practice room, I'll often sit down and just transcribe that lick and try to pick it apart, figure out what's going on, and practice it through all 12 keys in some way. Over on Patreon, I have a really good PDF guide to taking licks through all 12 keys in the most efficient way possible. So head on over there and check that out. Now, number 4 is something a lot of people forget to practice, and it's everything that impacts your playing that is not your sound or your vocabulary. Stuff like articulation, your phrasing, and most importantly, your time. So make sure you spend a little time in your practice sessions working on these things. It could be done through your vocabulary practice. Try to figure out exactly what kind of articulation is being used in the licks you transcribe, or you can use articulations when you practice your scale to work on different kinds of articulation. And also make sure you practice with a metronome and try to put that metronome on different beats of the bar. On downbeats like 1 and 3 and 2 and 4, or place the metronome on different upbeats and try to make that swing or groove. The metronome doesn't lie, and it's such a helpful tool to help you develop your time. Now, the final thing I think you should be focusing on in 2026 is to find your motivation for playing the saxophone. Listen to the music that makes you want to go practice, and also play the gigs that give you some value musically. If you want to find a community that's supportive of your saxophone journey, you should also check out my Discord server that you will get access to if you subscribe to my Patreon. In this community, you'll meet saxophone players from all over the world, and we're all helping each other out, figuring out what to practice, and sharing with each other our progress. So whether you're just getting started playing the saxophone, or if you're an intermediate or advanced player, definitely go check out my community over on Patreon, because I think it can be a really motivating thing to be a part of a community and to help each other out to figure out what we want to practice and what we want to get better at, and also to hold each other accountable for following up on the goals that we've set for ourselves. So take a second right now to write down some of your goals for 2026 when it comes to playing and practicing the saxophone. Make sure to write down some long-term goals, but also some short-term goals, because that's what's going to keep you going. If you can find a way to get multiple smaller rewards on your way to the bigger goal, that's what's really going to motivate you to practice as much as possible and becoming the best saxophone player that you can become. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, because I'll be posting loads more content in 2026, and wishing everybody a happy new year, and thanks for watching.